In today's episode, I want to talk about K.I.S S. Keep it success simple, and the 7 steps that I use when I start a new client. In my opinion, it's so important to not go too fast and to actually keep it pretty simple at start in order to progress over the weeks instead of throwing everything in there and feeling so overwhelmed and so overworked and oh my god, this is not working. I'm not going to succeed, because what I want to create is a feeling of success and small victories, because the small victories is what adds up and will eventually become the big victory, which is the end goal, or the end goal for now. And so it's really important to keep it simple at first in order to succeed, because if we break it down into small steps, it will be so much easier to get to the goal or the finish, and not stress too much about it. Because if it's a too big of a goal and too much at first, it's going to be overwhelming and it's going to be so hard to actually reach the goal, because you're going to stress out about all the things you need to fit into a day, and you're just going to give up because it's too much. And I really don't want that to happen. So that's why I usually break it down into small steps and things that you can do in order to slowly get to a more of the entire picture. So the first thing I usually tell my clients to do is to clean up the nutrition. There are so many things you can do with just you don't have to track, you don't have to follow a meal plan. The first thing you do is actually just clean up your nutrition, take out all processed sugar, take out if you drink calorie drinks with sodas and stuff with calories in there. It's just unnecessary calories to spend to actually use calories and just drink them. Instead, you should eat them, or that's what I prefer, at least, and what I tell my clients as well. And so if you clean it up with those things and add more vegetables in there and good quality food that actually fills you up, that will you'll come a long way with just that. Take out refined sugars and take out foods that are high in highly processed and high in fats and donuts and stuff like that. And you'll see a huge drop on the scale by just doing something simple like that. And instead add in whole nutritious food like vegetables, different kind of meats from fish, chicken, and things that doesn't have a long list of ingredients. So instead buy food that is high quality. So the first step is to clean up your nutrition. The second step is to actually just move more. And it doesn't necessarily need to be lifting weights. It can just be move more at home. Get up every hour and move around while you're working. Go out on a daily walk, because a daily walk outside will not only it will do so much good for both your health, your mental state, and just get out. I remember it really helped me a lot while I was dealing with Lyme disease and I was not feeling good, but just getting out in nature made me so much happier, so much calmer. You just have to try it because it's amazing. It's so so great to get outside and walk and breathe and just enjoy spending time with yourself outside. And the daily movement can also be something. Just move around at home, as I said, and go maybe parking further away from the store. When you go to buy groceries, take the stairs instead of the elevator, and those kind of things. And because that will increase something called NEAT, which is NEAT, and that's non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So it's what you burn when you move around, which is not like exercise related. So move more is step number 2. Step number 3 is actually to control your portions when you eat. So make sure that your portions are not too big. A good measurement, like using your hand as a measure tool that I usually do, is about like 1 or 2 palms of protein, 2 cupped hands. It might be more if you're a guy, but 2 cupped hands with carbs, 2 fists of vegetables, and a little bit of fats. So that's what I usually use. And for the carbs, it might be all like even up to like 2 or 1.5 or wait, 2.5 cupped hands with carbs if you're a guy. But that's a really good tool to use. And also just like look at your plate and see if it looks like a good amount, like a good size meal. But yeah, that's a way of using your hands. So be aware of how much food you eat. You don't want to eat too little, but you don't want to eat too much either. So that's just like portion control, step number 3. Step number 4 is to find a way of training that you actually like and can stick to in the long run. I don't want to force you to lift weights if you hate lifting weights, because just because I love it doesn't mean that you like it. You have to find your thing that you like to do, because that means that you will be successful in the long run. So if you like doing Zumba, if you like doing spinning classes, if you like rock climbing, I don't know, like whatever you like to do, do that. Because it's so much more important that you do something that you enjoy, because then you'll stick to it in the long run. You will get sustainable results, and you will start an activity and like a way of exercising that you can do for 2 months, 1 year, 3 years, 10 years from now. And it might change throughout the way, like the time. It doesn't necessarily need to be the same time for the rest of your life, because it's going to change. It's just like I went from CrossFit to Olympic weightlifting to bodybuilding, and now I love bodybuilding. So that's what I do at the moment. But I don't know, in a year from now, maybe I'm back doing CrossFit. Maybe I do something totally different. Just the fact that you do something that you enjoy and that you like doing, that's what I want you to do. Find the choice of training that you really enjoy. So that's step 4, finding your exercise form that you really, really, really enjoy doing. And step number 5 is actually to create a good balance for you. A good balance when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to training, and when it comes to like just life in general. So find, like, if you are really busy and you try to work out 5 times a week, that might increase your stress levels, and you might feel like you don't have enough time to spend with your family and friends, and that, like, in turn, like, that increases your cortisol levels, and you have a hard time like losing the weight you want to lose. So it's so important to find a good balance where you decide on how many days actually is realistic for me to work out. If it's 3 days, great. If it's 2 days, amazing. If it's 5 days, that's great. So it's all about like what's your balance like? What's the, like, how many days works for you to work out? And the same comes to nutrition, because even there, like, it's not no wrong or right with like how many meals you eat in a day. Some people like to eat 5 meals, some people like to eat 2. And it's all about your preference again. I don't want you to stress about getting 5 meals a day in, because they say that you need that in order to be a bodybuilder. And that's not true. It's all about calories in versus calories out, and how you split it up during the day. Doesn't matter if it's 2 meals or 6 meals. It's just whatever works for you and your body is what, like, that's what you should stick to. Because I did 5 meals a day. At the moment, I actually do 3, and both work well for me. I find it easier to do 3 or 4. 5 is also almost too many. So it's all about finding a good balance when it comes to training, nutrition, and daily like tasks and like walks and like staying active and like having a good like life. So step number 5 is find a balance that works in your life, not in someone else's. Step number 6 that I usually incorporate is breathing and meditation. And I know not all people like it or want to do it, but it's something that I find really helpful. And I usually do it in the morning before I get up from bed, or at night before I'm falling asleep. In the morning, I feel like I get more, like, it doesn't need to be long. I only do it for like 5 minutes, and just like listen to some like music, calm music, and I breathe and I get in tune with my body and myself, and just helps me to set me up for the day. And same at night, it helps me to calm myself down so I can sleep better. And I don't do it for more than 5 minutes at night either, because I don't have a ton of time to spend on breathing and meditation. The days when I do have more time, I do spend more time. So it's a little bit from day to day, but I try to do a minimum of 5 minutes. And again, this is a step that not all people like, but if you want to try it out, I would definitely encourage you to try for a couple of days and see how you feel. The 7th step is actually to track your food and really measure your food during a week to make sure that you get enough food and not eat too much food. So this will help you create an awareness for like the amount of food you take in during a day. So from that, you will know, do I need to decrease or increase my food intake? And in order to actually know what you should be at, you can do some like calculation through example. Harrison-Benedict formula is one that I use in order to calculate my caloric need for a day. So this will just help you to actually know exactly the portions that you need for each meal and how much food you need in a day. So these are the 7 steps that I usually start out like week by week, or it depends, like it's not always on a weekly like basis. It changes. It depends on how quickly my clients adapt. I always work from a standpoint of the person in front of me. I never apply the same things to 2 different people because we're not the same. And we need a unique approach. So that's what I always work with. I always make sure to plan like training and nutrition and the entire like coaching package for you. Because it's like you are you're one body. You're not the same as someone else. So it's so important that everything is made for you specifically, in my opinion. So the 7 steps that I do use to start out is clean up nutrition, move more daily walks, or just like non-exercise activity, thermogenesis activities like cleaning and stuff. 3 is portion control. Make sure that you are aware of how big portions you eat. Find your training style that you like and enjoy and can stick to. 5 is find your balance in a day. Find how much training you can do during a week and how the nutrition should look like in order to work for you in the long term. 6 is breathing and meditation. Give it a try and see how you like it. And 7 is actually measuring your food in order to make sure that you eat enough. So these are, or enough and not too much as well. So these are the 7 steps. And I like to keep it really simple. Keep it success simple, as I say, the K.I.S.S method. I want you to be successful. So that's why I want, like, it's just unnecessary to complicate things. So keep it simple, and we will make sure that we're successful together. So these are the 7 steps. Keep it success simple, guys.